Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zach and you're watching Zach Fashion. Thank you to all of you who tuned in to last week's video. And in last week's video, if you didn't quite get to the end, you probably didn't see the giveaway that's going on right now. For my giveaway, I've decided I want you guys to put together your favorite outfit, then go over to Instagram, take a picture, post it on your Instagram using the hashtag ProZachFashion, and then by next week's video or whenever I have enough posts to judge the giveaway, I'm going to choose my favorite outfit, feature them on my story, and then they will also receive a $10 Amazon gift card code in their DMs. Enough of me talking, let's get into today's video. In today's video, we're going to do another DIY. Today, we are going to be turning these plain white Nike socks into these more colorful Nike socks. For this video, I've created an easy 10-step system that you can follow if you're wanting to dye your own socks. Alright, let's get started. So I have my iPad right here with all the steps that we're going to need. So let's go over the steps so you can learn how to dye your very own socks. Step number 1, get your item of clothing. It doesn't have to be the Nike socks, it can be any item of white clothing that you choose. Number 2, make sure you wash the item first. When we do this, we're ensuring that we wash all the chemicals out of the clothes that might have been used to manufacture it, and it will help the dye sink into the fabric easily and give you a very vibrant color. For step number 3, we're going to get a big pot. Make sure the pot is big enough for you to hold both of your socks, and make sure there's enough room for the socks to both move freely throughout the solution so you get an even dye. Step number 4, make sure you fill the pot with just enough water so the socks have just enough room to move freely throughout the water and get an even dye. So fill the pot with water, make sure you fill it enough so the socks have room to move throughout the water, bring it over the stove, set the stove to high, and bring the water to a boil. Let's move on to step number 5. Once you bring your water to a boil, add the dye that you choose, and then once you add that dye, make sure you mix it very well so the dye is incorporated into the water, and then you're going to put your heat to medium and bring it to a simmer. And meanwhile, this step is also optional. Go over to your sink and then fill up either a pot or a big tub with enough water that you can let your socks move freely just like the other pot. And then in that one, you're going to add some kind of dye fixative. For this video, I got this Ritz dye fixative, and then this will just help make sure you'll get a much more vibrant color, and when you go to wash your socks later, it will help the dye from bleeding out onto other fabrics. Once that is done, we can move on to step number 6, which is to put your socks in the water, make sure they're fully submerged, and then you're going to either get a spoon, or what I found is really helpful, use some tongs, and you're going to mix those socks in there with the dye constantly for the first 10 minutes. After that, you can just let your socks chill out in the solution, and I found that the longer you leave the socks in, the darker the color will be, and then vice versa, the shorter amount of time you leave them in, the lighter the color will be. So what I did with this video is I experimented with both different colors. I left one pair of socks in for about 20 minutes and it gave a really dark color, and then I left one pair of socks in for only 10 minutes and then it left me with more of a lighter color. Let's move on to step number 7. Once your item has reached the desired color, go ahead and turn your heat off and remove your pot and let the water cool completely. You will want to make sure your water is cooled completely because later we're going to reach our hands in the pot of water so we can squeeze all of the water out of our socks. Let's move on to step number 8. As soon as your water is cool enough to touch, take your socks out, squeeze them, squeeze all the water out as much as you can, and then transfer them to your other big tub or pot with the color fixative solution. And if you skip that step with the fixative, then just go ahead and go to our next step, which once that is done, you're going to want to leave it in the fixative for about 20 minutes. Then you can take your socks out and move on to the next step, which is step number 9. Rinse your socks with warm water, squeezing the water out until the water runs clear. Once that is done, you can take your sock out of that and you can put them in the wash. Make sure you just put them through a rinse cycle to get any of the extra dye out. And then after that, you can either set them aside to air dry, or you can just stick them in the dryer and dry them that way. Alright, that's it for dyeing the Nike socks. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys will try out this DIY as well. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like. I would really appreciate that. Also, leave a comment in the comments. Tell me what you liked about this video, and tell me if you plan on trying this yourself. And if you're liking my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I can use all the subscribers I can get, and I would really appreciate it. I promise you will not regret it. I have some great videos on my channel, and some great videos to come. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Don't forget to join the giveaway as well. I have that going. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Have a great day.